wasn't going to do a video on the Peak Design camera clip, but I realized that, this thing is on the pricey side, and I had a really hard time justifying purchasing it, and I was thinking that a lot of other people might as well be struggling with, whether it's going to be worth it or not. So I thought I would give you the 2 reasons, or at least 2 reasons, I think this thing is totally worth the money, or at least in my case, it's definitely been worth the money. Reason number 1 is that when you're using a traditional camera strap, the challenge of it is that you've always got that weight on your neck, and I just, after a while, I can't do it. Like, it just wears me down. And as opposed to being able to really focus on, what composition I'm looking for, or get lost in the experience of doing a shoot, or cruising around a city, you're always just kind of aware of this weight on your neck, and it's getting sweaty and all that kind of stuff. And so that is reason number 1, is that it gets that weight off of your neck and makes it so that, you're not just constantly thinking about your camera around your neck. Now that brings me to reason number 2, which is, especially for me, when you're kind of running, gunning around a city, your camera is just basically swinging with your movement. And that's always been a real struggle for me, especially trying to not knock it into things or knock it into my arm. In my case, I'm using a chair to get from point A to point B, so I can't really hold the camera against my chest. It's always been a real challenge. And that's been really huge for me in not having to think about the camera just being loose and, going whichever direction the wind may blow. With the clip, it's secured in, and you don't have to worry about it. It's not moving anywhere. It's attached to your chest, and you're good to go. Or you could also have this on a belt, and again, don't have to worry about it moving anywhere. Ultimately, those 2 reasons add up to me not having to think about the camera anymore, and not having to get worn out with the weight of it anymore. Even though, you still got that weight on your shoulder, but it's just different. The way it's distributed, and the fact that it's not your neck, and it'll make all the difference. One last thing I should mention about the clip, as far as, it being so pricey, is that the quality is definitely reflected. And that's huge when you've got, your camera gear clipped into this, and that's such a huge investment. I definitely trust this clip to do its job, and that it's going to stay secure. So ultimately, you're going to pay a bit extra for that quality, in knowing that your camera's not going to fall on the floor, and that the craftsmanship is there. By the way, they have expressed that this can hold up to 200 pounds or 90 kilograms. Now, I will tell you, this clip is the V3 version, by the way, and the reason I got that is so that I could utilize it with the 3-legged thing L bracket. I'm just not a big fan of switching brackets, and I really like having the flexibility of an L bracket. So I'll leave these links below. They do as well just make a regular arca-swiss mount that goes into the clip in case you're not wanting to do the L bracket. The L bracket was pretty expensive, I have to say, which was a definite downside to this whole system. But in my case, I really dig the L clip, and it's another option in case you want to go that direction. A bit of a downside to the clip is that you need to slide it in at just the right angle. So just one of those things you got to get a muscle memory for. Otherwise, if you've gone in at the wrong angle, it does get a little stuck and annoying. But once you kind of get that smooth, then it's no big deal. But I just thought I would mention that. There is a really cool lock on the side. Maybe you're in some area where you're worried someone might try and press the button and grab your camera real quick and run. You can actually lock it so that the button can't be depressed for taking out the camera. But that's the reasons I have for the clip being so useful for me, and I never thought it would make such a difference, but it really, really has. Like, now when I think about going to do street photography, I don't overthink how how I'm gonna be worn out from it, and that it just, it doesn't even cross my mind. It's like no big deal now to have the camera on the clip. It's really made a big difference for me. So if you've been on the fence about getting a clip, hopefully that gives you a better picture as to whether it may be useful and worth the money for you. But if you've got any questions or something I missed, please leave it below. Links are below. And I always appreciate when you guys click those. That does help out the channel. Subscribing helps out as well. Appreciate that. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the next one. I hope you're well. All right, bye.